What's going on, everyone? DiamondTrail Ranch here today. Let's talk blueberry bushes. So these are going to be, excuse the truck behind me, these are going to be some newly purchased blueberry plants that we got from the nursery. I will show you each one. I actually have several varieties here. I transplanted these guys directly into the ground about a day after buying them. So you can see that they were as big as they were when I got them about 30 days ago. I purchased these about 30 days ago, and this is what my bushes look like. I have some earlier stage bushes as well that I will show you. I am in zone 10A, so that's going to impact blueberries in a pretty positive way. We have moisture in the air in the mornings particularly. I'm actually running the sprinklers right now because we're actually in a dry spell, which isn't too completely common for my zone. We get a ton of rain here in Central Florida. If any of you are Floridians, you know that. I have a drip line that I run down the blueberry plants. I'm sure you can see that black line there. I've been running that about every day to every other day for the first month, just to help keep the soil settled in for them. It's been going well, as you can see. It's a super windy day today. We are in a high wind advisory. So this is the planting area. What I did is I put it on the fence line of my property, and I kept it just far enough away so that it would not get to reach of my goats, because goats will try to eat the leaves and the blueberries off of these. Speaking of eating these plants, I don't know if I can see any flowers on them right now. I think most of the flowering's been done, but we actually had tons of pollinators and bees here, which is fantastic because I have a garden not too far from here on this property, which is great. And while they're on this fence line, another reason I put them on this fence line is one of the main reasons I put them on this fence line is the full sun they're getting. The sunlight in the spot is fantastic. They're getting about 8 hours a day of sunlight, and they thrive on the sunlight. Actually, you might be able to see a bee right there on that pretty flower. Check that out, guys. That was pretty. Blueberries actually need about 3 to 5 feet of spacing, so I went 5 feet. Mine are spaced out a little bit further because I have some high bush varieties, and high bush will get, upwards of 10 feet, so which is great. We compromised. We didn't want to do privacy fence, so we did vegetation. And what better way to do it than with edible vegetation, right? So these blueberries, some of these varieties here are going to get very tall. I believe we have 3 varieties. So the high bush will get very tall. They're going to look like trees. It'll be fantastic. So 3 to 5 feet for your blueberry bushes. Again, mine are all about 5 feet apart. You want to dig a hole that's twice the width of the root ball, but the same depth of the plant that you're putting in the ground. That is what I did with all of these. Here's another variety. You can tell it's a different variety because of the color of the leaves. You want to remove the plant from its container and gently loosen the roots at the bottom, so it's going to look just like this plant here in the pot. And I actually have one still in the pot. I'll show you later on in this video, and the process of what you do to get these in the ground. It's super simple. You're going to place the plant in the hole after you've loosened the roots, and then remember, the hole's twice the width and the same depth of the plant. The hole will be. You're going to place it in the hole, make sure the base is level with the ground. They're talking about right here. Right there. See? Right there. The base is going to be right there. And then you're going to backfill with soil, gently pressing down to remove any air pockets. And you're going to want to add dirt over time, or soil, whatever you have. We have compost, homemade in-house compost. I say that in every video. We add some of that in there. Duck water as well. Duck water is a lot less acidic than It's a lot less potent and powerful than chicken. Chicken can actually kill your stuff pretty quickly if it's too warm. So actually, here comes a sprinkler hitting a couple of my berries. Yay! That one hits a couple of my peach trees as well. Alright, you're going to want to water, which I'm doing some of these now. It's just, some of these get a little extra water, but it's not hurting them. It's pretty hot today for the time of year, honestly. Explain. Blueberries, you know, they need shallow roots. I'm sorry, blueberries have shallow roots and they need consistent moisture. You're going to want deep watering after you put them in the ground. Like I said, for the first month, I've been drenching these things, you know, every other day to every day sometimes. You can tell just by looking at the ground there that they are very, very damp. So these guys stay wet, specifically on these blueberries here. You might run into some common problems after you transplant these guys here, like yellowing leaves. You might have a pH balance, or if you get some drooping plants that just don't seem happy, it could be underwater. You could not have enough water, and that's with any plant. If you're putting anything in the ground, transplanting, or in a pot even, you'll notice that if it's got droopy leaves, give it like, not even, give it half a bottle of water. You're talking 8 ounces, 7 ounces, 6 ounces. 6 ounces of water will make the difference. A droopy plant is a thirsty plant, folks. So if it's yellow, put some pH in there. Get it. You can. There's different products for that. We use good old compost. Duck water fixes everything here. You wanna, if you have an issue with environmental, I don't know if you saw the shadow of the bird that just went by. It made me think of the birds and predators. You can net these guys. You can net these plants. There's nothing wrong with netting your blueberries. Just obviously make sure it's not completely black, so you can, you know, burn them and you still get some UV protection going on. So you want to make sure you prune for future seasons. I didn't prune these because we've only had these for a month. I'm just giving you guys the rundown on what to do from pot to ground. This is a pot to ground about a month after the fact of these blueberry bushes, and you can see that they came out pretty darn good. They're doing well. They're doing okay. You want to protect the birds with netting. You want to prevent root rot with proper drainage. Now that's really going to depend on your soil. Are you working with sand? Are you working with clay? Make sure you're aware of the ground you're putting these in before you stick these in the ground. I'm a fenced in property here away from my farm animals. So that's why you see some of the nice sandy surface here with the grass. When there's the darker spots by the plant, because we have some potting soil, not potting soil, we have compost and topsoil over by where we transplanted our herbs and stuff earlier. So why don't you guys try to grow some blueberries in your own garden and let me know how that goes. If you got any questions, you can like, subscribe, comment. Of course, I will reply to every comment that I get. Any questions, I will reply to all questions. We get some pretty leaves like this one here. Pretty cool. Let me go show you guys what one that's still in the pot looks like real quick. Okay guys, so here I have one of the blueberry plants still in the pot. This is what they looked like when I bought them. This one here is exactly what they looked like when I bought them. This one is still in the pot because we're going to be giving it to our grandmother's probably this weekend. We're going to swing by and drop it off to her as a gift. So we have that one that's still in the pot, and I'll show you one other one real quick. This one here, this is the last one that we have that was put into the ground as a pot. And we bought these over time, you know, 2 at a time, 3 at a time. You don't have to buy them all at once. It's, you know, it's an investment for your family, for your property, self-sufficiency and survival food. Blueberries, you know where it was grown. You know what you did to it, you know. Did you put any additives in the soil? Is there anything crazy going on? You're aware of all of that. It's your property, your plant, your self-sufficiency. So let me know in the comment section below what you do to improve your self-sufficiency. What's growing on your property? Thanks, guys.